For topic three, we're going to look at understanding line graphs. So that's going to be our next type of visual representation is a line graph. So as a definition, a line graph is another way to display data. That's not terribly shocking right there. But line graphs are used to show changes over time. Okay, so you're looking at one continuous line, but how it goes up and how it goes down, how it increases and decreases over time. So examples you could look at the average high temperatures of a city throughout the year. You could look at somebody's weight as it changes throughout a weight loss journey, for example. Okay. You could look at time spent studying during the school week. Okay. Different things like that. So you're looking at one thing, like one concept, and how it's going to change over time. So weight, temperature, time spent studying, whatever the case may be. Okay. Now, a big advantage is it's easy to visualize the relationship between whatever so like for example, let's use weight loss over time. So if somebody's on a weight loss journey, okay, and they start tracking their weight over time, you can get a really nice visual of how the weight changes week to week or month to month. Okay. If you're looking at average high temperatures in a city throughout the year, you can see a nice relationship day by day as the year progresses. Okay, so it's a nice visual. All right, easy to use. Let's go ahead and look at an example here. Okay, so example three says answer the questions about the data shown in the line graph below. Okay, so we have a line graph that shows the number of hours spent reading each day of the week. Okay, so you're looking at hours spent reading and then days of the week. Okay. Now, along our vertical axis, you can see here we have number of hours spent studying or not studying, reading. And then along the horizontal axis, we have the individual days of the week. Okay. So you can see here that Monday, 4 hours were spent reading. Tuesday, 2 hours were spent reading. Wednesday, 3 hours. Thursday, 2 hours. Friday, 5 hours. Saturday, 8 hours. And then what, 5 hours on Sunday? Okay. So how many more hours, we're looking at the questions now. How many more hours did this person spend reading on Saturday compared to Tuesday? Well, Saturday, this person spent 8 hours reading. Tuesday, they only spent 2 hours. And that kind of makes sense. The weekend is typical for us. You know, we go to school or work during the week and have our weekends off. So it makes more sense that they would have more time to spend reading on a Saturday. So Saturday, they spent 8 hours. Tuesday, they spent 2 hours. So 6 hours more reading on Saturday. Okay. Now, for part B, it says, what is the ratio of time spent reading on Saturday compared to Thursday? So Saturday we already know is 8 hours. Thursday was also just 2 hours. So we would say 8 to 2 or 4 to 1. So for every 4 hours spent reading on Saturday, only 1 hour was spent reading on Thursday. And then finally, what percentage of the total time reading this week was completed on Sunday? So first, let's figure out the total time spent reading this week. So we know Monday we had 4 hours, Tuesday we had 2 hours, Wednesday was 3 hours, Thursday was 2 hours, Friday was 5 hours, Saturday was 8 hours, and Sunday was 5 hours as well. So we would take 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 5. So we want to add up all of those hours. You could do this by hand, or you can do it kind of quickly on a calculator. I'm going to do it really quickly on my calculator. So 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 5. So it looks like a total of 29 hours were spent reading throughout the whole week, okay? And we want to know what percentage of the time was just on Sunday. So the time on Sunday was 5 hours. Okay, that is going to be the amount in our percent problem. The base is going to be the total time spent reading. Okay, last example that we had a percentage, we did the percent equation. So let's try the percent proportion again. Remember, the percent proportion is the amount over the base equals the percent over 100. And we don't have to convert the percent to decimal form because right here we're converting it to fraction form, which is the format we need. So we're going to get 5 over 29 equals P over 100. We'll cross multiply. When we cross multiply, we're going to get 29p times or equals 5 times 100. So 29p equals 5 times 100 is just 500. So we can divide each side by 29. That'll undo the multiplication of 29 and p. 29 divided by 29 is just 1. So we get 1 times p equals, and let's jump over to the calculator really quick. So it was 500 divided by 29. And remember, we don't have to convert, in this case, we don't have to convert our answer to a percentage. It's already going to be in percent format, so we just need to round it. And let's go one decimal place here. So we get 17.24. Okay, so this 2 is what I want to round to, and directly to the right of that is a 4, which tells me to round down, which means the 2 stays the same, and then I chop everything after that off. So we get 17.2. And I am going to use a squiggly equal sign because this is approximately 17.2% of the time was on Sunday. So there you have it. That is a line graph. You can see there's some connect between these. To me, this is not maybe the greatest example of a line graph ever. A lot of times you'll see stuff where you can see more of a connect between the hours. So like you may see a really good example is the average high for a city throughout the year. So you would have your temperatures along the vertical axis, your months along the horizontal axis, and you would go January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So you could see a bit more and you can see kind of how they're connected. The hours spent reading a week's not super exciting, but just as useful. I mean, if that's what you want to track, if you want to look at somebody's reading throughout the week, this is a great way to do it. Something that's a bit more useful might be something like looking at the temperatures in a city to see where you have spikes, where you have highs, where you have lows. Okay. But a line graph is a really great visual to just get like spot on information right there. So with something like this, it was really, really easy to see which day of the week we spent the most time reading, which days of the week we spent the least amount of time reading. It's really easy to see that more reading was done during the weekend than on the week than during the regular week. So easy way to pull some information.